this afternoon's review, we're going to take a look at Batman Arkham City. So this is the collect to build by Mcfarlane Toys of Solomon Grundy. So for the Batman figure, these are the pieces that are included. So it's going to be the legs of Solomon Grundy. So the other figures that are included in this wave would be Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and the Penguin. So let's examine the contents of our purchase. So we have the Batman figure, the Solomon Grundy build parts, a grapple gun, a trading card, and a stand. Let's do a visual 360 of the figure without the single accessory that it comes with. So let's take a look at the features of the grapple gun. So as for details, left side, right side, from the top. So the grapple side or the hook does not detach from the main component or the launcher. So don't attempt to ever rotate or pull it out because that is molded plastic. Okay, so let's discover the articulation points for this figure. So let's start with the head. So side to side motion, okay, a little bit of tilts, okay, upward tilts, downward tilts. For the body, we have 2 points of articulation on the diaphragm and on the waist, which allows for sideways motion. Forward motion and backward motion. And the arms are going to be impeded with regards to rotation of the arms because of the cape. But for T poses, possible. Forward motion, and the arms has rotation on the bicep. Single point of articulation for the elbow, and even if I subjected this to hot water treatment or a bath, it's still quite stiff. So that's a single point of bend for the elbow, but that is a very anatomically clean bend. And for the hands, we have a ball and a hinge. So rotation and circular motion. So it's possible with the hands. Standard Mcfarlane, very limited thigh rotation. 2 points of articulation for the knee. And let's take a look at the bend on the knee. Okay, so still anatomically correct. Not much of a very big space when you bend the knee. So that's just a very decent knee bend. Really not atrocious looking. But we don't have any rotation for the boot. No rotation. As for the feet, we have a ball and a hinge, and we have rocker point for the foot, and of course toe bends. This is the armored version of Batman from the Batman Arkham Asylum, which is a product of DC Direct several years ago. So if you are familiar with the first version that Mcfarlane put out with the Arkham Asylum Batman, I did not get that figure because of the head sculpt. So with the proportions of the very narrow head and the pupils, just wasn't a fan of that. Even though I played the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight games, so I'm really familiar with the armors, but I skipped on that figure. Let's talk about the details on this figure this time, but let us just concentrate on this area first before we tackle the legs. Okay, so the Arkham Asylum figure by Mcfarlane Toys, the design on that is based on the Arkham Asylum game. Now, this is based on the Arkham City game. So, if you have played that game or owned that game several years back, then you would really be familiar with how the suit looks. Even if they share a little bit of similarities, there's going to be a lot of difference, especially on the head area. How the head sculpt is constructed. It is now a fuller head sculpt, which compared to the Arkham Asylum, it had a very narrow head sculpt. So, and the bat ears is not so pronounced on this figure, which actually is an improvement. I really did not like that Arkham Asylum mask wherein we have really protruded bat ears. Okay, so moving towards the chest area, we have a very nice visible bat symbol. So compared to the Arkham Asylum game, this bat symbol of that figure somehow was just a little bit small and low. But because of the mass of this bat symbol, it somehow adds to the mass of the chest area. And somehow I could say that the chest area on this figure is a little bit more pronounced versus the Arkham Asylum figure, which I did not buy. But I have already seen that figure in package and in loose condition, so I've skipped it several times. So moving towards the gauntlets, you know that this is the Arkham City gauntlet, and we have really pronounced knuckles for the glove area because of the very nicely painted silver, which actually in the game, you on the walkthroughs or on those monologues, you really would see the presence of the knuckles on the gloves. With regards to the belt, this is not a very shiny belt. Actually, it is drab looking, not shiny, just yellow, but personally it is just right. I don't like shiny things on Batman action figures. So with regards to the belt, I like how that belt is designed. So let's move towards the leg area and the cape. So what does the Batman Arkham Asylum and the Arkham City share in common? It's going to be on the leg area, especially on the thigh, because take a look at that thigh. That's a very narrow, almost non-muscled thigh, and something that I really expect on a Batman figure is to have really pronounced muscled legs, pronounced muscled arms, and a muscular chest. So he's a guy that scales walls, climbs buildings, so those muscles are really developed. But on the leg area in this figure, that's a really thin profile for muscled legs. So let's bring in the Batman Arkham Asylum by DC Direct. So let's look at the proportions of that figure, even if I kept it in package. So we have the DC Direct Batman Arkham Asylum figure still in package. We also have a Mcfarlane Toys Batman Arkham Knight. Take a look at the thighs of this figure, and even on the thighs of an older styled figure, and the thighs of this figure. Now the profile, there's almost no muscle at all. Well, that is my only gripe with this Arkham City figure. Okay, so another visible change on this action figure is going to be on the cape. So take a look at the cape. So this is from the front and this is from the back. So we have that swoosh effect. So which cape do you prefer? So it's going to be a personal choice between the more flowing cape of the Batman Arkham Asylum versus the swooshed version of this Batman Arkham City. But somehow, taking a look at this side and from this side, it at least the swoosh effect still adds to the character or the flair of the figure. But which cape do I prefer? It's going to be the Arkham Asylum figure. But between the Arkham Asylum figure, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, so let's bring in the Arkham Knight figure. So just the capes, I mean. So this is the cape that I hope this figure came with. So we have the Batman Arkham City with the other Batman action figures that Mcfarlane Toys has produced. So since I passed on the Batman Arkham Asylum because I didn't like the execution of the figure in toy form, when I saw this on the shelves, I really liked the design. Even though I have some issues with the legs, that is just a little bit of issue, not really something that I have to really make a rant about. So with regards to execution toy form, really I'm okay with this. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next action figure review.